back. She never looks back. Looks back. Demons are crawling back to your bed, and they're calling out your name. Demons are crawling back to your bed. Demons are crawling back to your bed, and they're calling out your name. Demons are crawling back to your
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Well, from the compound to your house to worldwide, you're listening to me, Gary, on Night Dreams Talk Radio. Hey, our guest tonight, we're going to be talking about UFOs, monsters, aliens, and, well, maybe B-movies and sci-fi. Well, I know we're going to be talking about that. He'll be on right after this with Jason Boyd. So let's hear this first and let's get going.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give $1 or $2. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support.
And check out the website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Check out our gallery. Check out, my co-host is on Saturdays, Michael W. Hall, and our new host also be on starting on December 8th, James. And check out the little information we have in his picture on our website. Well, Jason, how you doing tonight, my friend?
Sir, I'm doing fantastic. I hope you're doing as well as yourself.
Well, I don't know. It's just like we were talking before we went on, old age. And you know what? You're going to catch up with me. Of course, the time you catch up with me, I won't be here. I'll be in Nebraska.
Well, like I said, we hope you live long and prosper. So, that's all I hope for. But, and the old age catches up with you eventually. So it's an unfortunate, necessary evil, I think.
I know, and it's really discouraging. But anyway, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself? Now, remember, we only have 15 listeners. Now, actually, we're breaking well over 250,000 per show. Again, our show is live, and then it's replayed on all the major apps. Go ahead, Jason. Tell the people about yourself.
Well, I'm actually the security director for the Scare Fest there in Lexington, Kentucky, and kind of an IT guy by trade. Real big into horror movies and things, and science fiction, and have been, I guess, into it since I was 5 years old. My uncle actually had gotten me into the horror movies, and of course, started me out with movies like Aliens and Predator and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, and it's kind of blossomed into my mass collection. I guess some of the folks that's friends with me or seen some of my collections out there that I've acquired over the years, and autographs and things. I just kind of really immersed myself into it. So it's definitely been it's been an interesting trip for sure, because I've met some fantastic people, actors and actresses, and authors and, people that run websites. And of course, I love the show and listen to it quite often there. So it's a real privilege for me to be on here. And, it's just, it's just great. I mean, it's especially being able to share. I always kind of was afraid that my useless horror trivia would kind of go unused. So, and believe it or not, there's people that actually like it. So it's kind of awesome.
Well, I think there's quite a few people that are into it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching, some of these, like you were mentioning, Lost in Space. I have to say something about that show. When I was a kid, when I was younger and that show came out, I mean, I was really, it kind of scared me at times. And Dr. Zachary Smith kind of always intrigued me, how his personality could change from show to show. But, the effects on it, I mean, it's below a Class B on, the effects of the quality of whatever they were doing. Remember that harp in the one you just watched?
Oh, the one that looked like it was funny because I was watching it and I screamed out, hey, it's the Metal of the Mutant, and of course, scared the crap out of everybody that was watching it with me, just due to my excitement. But I'm a big This Island Earth fan, and naturally, I actually have a mask of the Metal of the Mutant, and so I recognized it right away. But it looks like they had taken some other things from other Universal monsters and kind of made another alien, I guess, of sorts, and kind of really surprised me because I was like, wow, that's really cool. And like you said, I mean, of course, by today's standards, I mean, the show, people look at it like, oh, that's silly. But, when I was young, I mean, I was just completely just in love with Robbie the Robot. And I was really thrilled when I watched Forbidden Planet. And, of course, Robbie was in that as well, or at least a variation of Robbie. So which kind of developed my love of robots, and especially the atomic B film robots and things. Tobar the Great, I'm sure you've probably seen that one.
Oh yeah.
And the Phantom Creep, so that's something I was always fascinated. A lot of times I'd watch it just for Robbie the Robot.
Well, the voice they used on that show, the announcer for that show actually got the part of playing the robot's voice. And I was watching on YouTube how he got it and what he had to do, and to get the part. And it was rather interesting.
Well, let me ask you: have you watched the remake they've had on Netflix with but I guess it's supposed to be like a revamp of the Lost in Space with the new cast, and they kind of changed things up a little bit because Dr. Smith's a female in this one, and the Robbie the Robot was actually. I'm still watching it because, like I said, somebody just kind of introduced me to it, so still kind of catch up on the episodes there. But Robbie is more of a murderous. Well, at the beginning, it was a murderous type robot. I'm not exactly sure what triggered it. I'm still watching, progressing into it. But did you like the remake? Did you have a chance to watch it, or?
Well, I haven't seen the new one, but I saw the previous remake, the first one, the movie. And I wasn't really super impressed with that one, but I haven't seen the new one. It came out about 2 years ago?
I believe it's been about maybe 2 years ago. I want to say I guess they're still making episodes for it. Like I said, a friend of mine actually had suggested it and was like, hey, I know you're into the science fiction and you're a big Lost in Space fan, and at one time I actually had a huge cardboard cutout of Robbie the Robot, and it had a voice activation that when you walked in front of it, it would say the Danger Will Robinson Danger. And
that'd be cool.
So that was pretty awesome. I would have it set up in my room when I was a kid. People would walk by, and of course, naturally it would scare the bejesus out of them. So, and unfortunately, he didn't make it through with through the childhood there because he got rained on. Long story. My mother, whenever I went to the Army, had moved all my stuff outside there while she was cleaning the room and repurposing it, and he got left out in the rain. So I managed to salvage the voice box. So I'm actually still. I found it the other day, buried under a bunch of things. So that's something I'm hoping to recreate there. And I've just always been a big fan. I actually even have had a 3D printer that I worked on some models and things, and made a lot of different Robbie the Robot models, and made a tow bar look great, and the little guys from Invasion of the Saucer Men and Mars Attacks. So that's it was you get bored whenever you have nothing else to do, and you have a 3D printer. You can make all kinds of really neat stuff. So
it sounds like it. Yeah. I mean, they make even medical body parts out of them. I mean, a 3D printer. That's next thing on my list, and I hope my wife listens to the show for Christmas.
Oh, they're fantastic. I mean, there's a ton of websites that you can go to, and you can plug the program into it, and you can just download the prototype that you want, and you can set the parameters. You can make it as large as you want or as small as you want, and you can do all sorts of really cool stuff with it. I was just completely blown away by how awesome they are. And but yeah, I actually use mine for more entertainment purposes, and would make little trinkets. I made a little zombie pencil holder. It's like the top of the head's been blown off, and you can stick pencils down in it. And I made a throw switch for my like the one used in Frankenstein on my actual switch in my office, so you can like flip a switch like Frankenstein when you first walk in. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I just really got into it and made a lot of things for my friends. So
well,
the technology's amazing.
How expensive is it for the supplies to do it?
The filament and things actually had what the story behind it was actually I was testing it for a company I work for an R&D group, and they were using it to test out new prototypes for beds, believe it or not. And of course, they were kind of like, we don't really have a use for a 3D printer. I mean, to make a bed. I mean, it's just a 3D printer. It's not, we have to actually build the beds and test them. So they like, here, if you want to, do something with it or, play around with it. So I was like, sure. And, so I started developing all these, different prototypes, and then eventually they're kind of like, yeah, we just can't use it. So I used it for my own nefarious purposes. And, I think the filament things, I think was, it depends on like the colors and things that you get with it, because it gets kind of expensive depending on, like if you want certain, like you can actually change the filaments and make, your projects and things different colors and different, do it for accuracy and everything else. But I just usually gray or black would usually, or white would be the colors to use because they're extremely cheap. So.
Hey, a question. I see some people on Facebook, from Lost in Space, that robot. They have in their collection, I don't know if it's from the movie props or somebody's making them, but they have life-size, the robots. And I've seen 2-3 different people on Facebook, having them in their game room. And I'm just wondering, have you seen where a person can even find one? That would look really good in my studio.
Actually, I did know there's a company that makes life-sized movie props. Well, I guess I'd say movie props, but I know they have a T-1000 from Terminator. They have a RoboCop, and they have a Robbie the Robot, and they have Phantom Creep. And I think they're extremely pricey. I know that at one time I actually looked at Robbie the Robot, and I think it was like close to $3,000. But like I said, it's screen accurate. I mean, it looks fantastic. And I know a friend of mine that had bought the RoboCop one. I think he shelled out like $2,700 for it, and almost his marriage. But
if I came,
like I said, it's a great conversational piece, though. When you walk in, you